Okay, so I'm back and I'm sick a little bit, as you can tell from the sound of my voice, but I'm still gonna try to finish off where we left off, which was on chapter 12. There are gonna be so many more chapters, just you wait. So we're barely on chapter 12 and there's 53 chapters. Sorry. So, okay, here we go. Let's continue. Okay. Yeah, I guess it's just, nothing. It's not important. I was just going through mood swings. He shakes his head almost instantly, his blonde hair swishing side to side with his movement as he did so. Don't believe you. What's the real reason for the sulk? Frowning at him, squinting my face, I couldn't help but scoff and... I'd only just met the guy, and he's already talking as if he knows me. I don't know. I guess I was just jealous of her. She's so... Stop right there. He interrupts me without letting me speak. He wanted to know, and now he's stopping me? What was the point in that? What is with this guy? I still don't have a full opinion on him yet. Whatever you were about to say of why you're jealous, bin it, throw it away, spit, shit, and piss on it if you have to because it's bollocks. You shouldn't be jealous of anybody. I was lost for words. How does a person respond to something like that? Especially if that is being said from a person you have just met. Goddamn ads. Okay. Chapter 13. I stare blankly at Ben's face as he takes deep breaths, as if to wait for my reply. But how was I meant to reply? How does anyone reply to that? I didn't know the guy, yet he's trying to give me life advice of not being jealous of anyone? And I'm not sure I understand. What's not to understand? I said don't be jealous of anyone. After all, everyone has 2 eyes, 2 ears, a mouth, a nose. And at the end of the day, we're all gonna die. Why be jealous of someone else when the fate ends the same way as yours? I was shocked. Death has always been something I was afraid of. Of fear, almost. Ben wasn't making it any easier. So what you're saying is... What I'm saying is stop being jealous of her, because either way, whether you're her or yourself, you're gonna fucking die. I had enough. I couldn't stand it anymore. If death is something I fear, I'm not going to sit here and listen to some stranger tell me I'm gonna die. I know I will, but I don't want to be told and reminded of that. I stand from my seat and rush away from the table without saying a word. I hear Ben call from behind me, telling me to wait, but I ignore him, walking out of the cafe. Drowned boy's point of view. Hey, wait, where are you going? Wait! I called to her as she hurried away. I quickly stand up to chase after her, but the waitress stops me. Excuse me, sir, you need to pay your bill. Bill, we didn't even buy anything. I know, sir, but you still used the table, and you're right, you didn't buy anything, which means that table could have been used for people who did want to order food, not to be sent away as there was no spaces. Okay, fine, just quickly, I need to catch up with my friend. Just give me an odd look as I continue to sign for the bill. She wasn't really a friend, but I act like she was, so that the waitress wouldn't accuse me of being suspicious. Once the bill was signed for, I quickly head out of the cafe and run as fast as I can down the street looking for her, until I finally spot her. Hey, wait up, I call. She turns and looks behind, only to increase her speed when she sees me, but I manage to catch up to her easily. Naeem, wait, please! She suddenly turns around, causing me to stop in my tracks. She was standing dangerously close as she glared into my eyes. Who are you? I never told you my name, yet you suddenly know it, and said you recognize me. Simon answers, and don't you dare lie to me. Who the fuck are you? With my throat being like this, I swear I sound like one of those stupid girls. It's like, who the fuck are you? I'm just trying to lighten the mood for myself. Anywho, let's continue. Okay. She yells on my face as her eye sockets filled with tears. Why was she so emotional? But she was right. She hadn't told me her name. The only reason I knew it was from Slender's mission list. But I can't exactly tell her that. I can't give myself away. Fuck what I'm gonna say. Who the fuck are you? She screams with anger as the tears begin to fall. Her face scrunches as she grows angrier and more upset by the second. I don't even know why I invited you to come along to the cafe with me. I don't even know you. I don't know you. Her cries increased the angrier she got. She was about to open her mouth again to speak, but someone called her name from behind, causing her to take her focus off of me and turn around. "Susie?" she asked as she tilted her head. I looked over her shoulder to see the girl with glasses and two braids either side of her head. "Am I interrupting something?" the girl asked quietly. Naeem sighed deeply, turning back to look at me, her eyes locked dead with mine, still glaring at me as she replies, "No, you aren't. Let's go." She removes her glare from me and turns to her friend, grabbing her arm and rushing off, not looking back for even a last glance. "Who was that, Naeem?" Susie asked as we continued our walk down the street after I had rudely ditched Ben. I felt somewhat bad, but I tried to convince myself that I shouldn't because of the fact that I didn't even know him. No one important. I didn't even know one. Just some jackass stranger. Maybe I went a little over the top calling Ben a jackass when he didn't actually do anything wrong, apart from reminding me of death, but other than that, he seemed a nice guy. But just how did he know my name? I couldn't understand it. Who is that guy? "Well, you better hope he's not no one important. You got a Jacob to keep an eye on." She giggles as she notices my arm. Jacob was a classmate in school who was pretty much in all of my classes. I've had a crush on him for the past 3 years, and we have spoken a few times here and there. We share a similar sense of humor, which I found out through listening to his conversations with his friends. At one point, I accidentally laughed at something he had said and had to act normal when he turned around. Luckily, he and his friends didn't say anything about it. God, that was so awkward. "Yeah, I know. You should talk to him. Invite him out for a drink tomorrow." I turned my head in her direction, raising my brows. I couldn't tell if she was being serious or not because of the huge grin on her face. Seriously? Seriously! I wanted to protest, but I could see the joyful expression on her face, practically begging me to do it. Sighing deeply, I give her a nod, but that only causes her to squeal in excitement. Stopping on the spot and grabbing my shoulders, shaking them vigorously. "You two will make such a cute couple." "Easy, Susie. I haven't asked him yet." She stops almost instantly, but the huge grin still remained as we carried on our way. Now that she's had reminded me, I couldn't get Jacob out of my head. Dark brown eyes, brown poofy hair, very tall elf ears. Elf ears? So the image of Jacob in my mind merged and formed a figure of Ben with his long pointy ears. Why am I thinking of him? No matter how much I tried, the only image I could produce in my head was Ben. I thought that maybe it was because I felt guilty for being rude to him. "Hello? Earth to Naeem?" A voice calls as a hand waves in front of my face. It was Susie. Turning to glance at her, she had the expression that I had just ignored her conversation for the past 10 minutes. How long was I thinking for? "Well?" she asked, flicking her wrist down as if to ask for the answer again. Only problem, I didn't know what the question was. "I'm sorry, what was the question?" She rolls her eyes, grabbing my arm, dragging me down the street as she quickened her pace. "Never mind. Come on. Let's go pick out your outfit." "Susie, what if he says no, though?" "He won't. If he says yes, we'll be prepared. If he says no, I get to beat his ass." She giggles as she continues to walk at a quick pace down the street, heading for my house. Random sketches. Hey. Hey, you. Yeah, you're reading this. You seeing what I'm seeing? There's your Toby. If you want more, I could do more. Of course, I'll have to figure it out. But you guys are worth it, so I'll be thinking about it. A day had passed, and today was the day that Susie wanted me to talk to Jacob. I stood nervously as I looked at my reflection in the mirror, checking my outfit. This was my first time talking to him, so I wanted to look at least half decent. Taking a deep breath and one last look at my reflection, I turn away and head to leave my room. As I reach the door, I hear a notification sound coming from my computer. A shiver grew over my spine as I worried it might be the blank document virus again. Slowly turning around, I was able to relax once I glanced at the screen. There was no document, and it was just my Skype. Susie had messaged me. "Hey, don't wait for me outside my house. I'm already at school. I'll wait for you at the gate." I couldn't help but giggle to myself. How was Susie always so cheerful in the mornings? Yet I'm always so moody. Turning off my computer, I head downstairs to say goodbye to my parents. "Hi, Mom, Dad. Good morning." I greet them as they finish up their breakfast. "Morning, sweetheart. You'll be happy to know that your father and I have finally decided on your punishment." I couldn't help but groan as I dragged myself out of them. Why is that something I should be happy about? Great. You tell her, dear, my mother said as she tapped my father on the back before heading into the kitchen. My father stands from the table, opening his case and beginning to pack his stuff. As you know, Name, we did warn you about not completing your essays as you're behind in your classes enough as it is already. But we thought a harsh punishment was too much in the situation. So instead, we're going to find you a tutor. A tutor? That was it? I was expecting to be grounded or banned from something. Anything more dramatic than that, although it seemed too simple and there had to be a catch. However, this tutor will also become your watcher and your roommate. I knew it. Of course there was a catch. Nothing in life is that simple. But what did he mean about a watcher? Wait, so you're gonna find me a random person to be my tutor and ask them to move in with me and follow me around everywhere? Yes, that's right. But if there's some sort of stalker or murderer, Name, don't be ridiculous now. Your tutor has been hired and is waiting for you outside. Go say hello and be nice. That was the last thing my father said to me before dismissing me. Rolling my eyes, I head towards the front door with my back and take a deep breath. Whoever's on the other side of this door will be my new roommate and daily stalker for everything that I do. Unlocking the door, I open it casually and step out, looking around until my eyes locked on a figure waiting for me. You've got to be kidding me. A familiar, blonde-haired, elf-eared boy walks up to me with a sly grin as his hands remain stuffed inside his jeans pockets. Ben, you're my tutor? I asked with a moody tone, emphasizing the fact that it was him and not someone else. Yep, looks like you're stuck with me now, Name. He grins childishly. And pushed past him, walking down my drive and heading down the street towards my school. I could hear Ben chuckling to himself as he strolled behind me. Ugh, I can't believe this is happening. Chapter 16. It didn't take long for me to reach the school as I quickened my pace whenever I could. I soon spot Susie by the gate, watching as her smile drops to a confused expression as she spots Ben walking close behind me. I quickly return and rush into the school as fast as I could, dragging her with me. I run down the halls, taking turn after turn. The corridors getting quieter and quieter the deeper we went, checking behind to make sure Ben wasn't following. He was nowhere to be seen. Soon enough, we took the stairs into the basement where nobody went down. It was more so of a room that only Susie and I knew about, so he shouldn't find us in here. I finally let her go, and we couldn't help but pant heavily through running so fast. What's going on? I was that guy from yesterday following you? Susie asked between pants and puffs of breath. I felt bad as she was slightly asthmatic, but luckily she had her pump, so she wasted no time by pulling it out to steady herself. Sorry, I just needed to get away from him. My parents hired him as my tutor, but he's also being paid to follow me around, and he is even my roommate now, I say, as I lean against the wall and slowly slide down against my back until my rear touches the coats and mat floor. Susie walks over to me and kneels down in front of me with an expression to say she felt bad for me, but was also slightly confused. But I thought your parents didn't even want you to have a boyfriend or even a friend who was male. So why get a male to follow you around and share a room with you when you don't even know him? I shrug harshly, jacking my shoulders with big movements to show the real confusion I felt in my mind. Susie sighs and sits back to cross her legs in front of her. What are you going to do about Jacob? Who's Jacob? A voice suddenly appeared there from the room. A voice suddenly appeared from in the room. Both Susie and I jumped to our feet in shock, our hearts pounding as we searched for the voice source. But I eventually found it. Ben was leaning his back against the wall in the shadows before slowly emerging with a smirk across his face. Ben, how did you find us down here? He chuckles as he comes closer to us. Susie reaches out and holds my hand, squeezing it tightly, to which he notices. His eyes seem to squint a little with what seemed like anger, but they soon return back to a slight grin. I'm being paid to watch over you, remember? Yeah, but how did you know we were down? Oh, look at that. Time for class, he interrupts as he grabs my arm and begins to drag me out of the basement, taking Susie with us as she still held onto my hand. Once we were out of the basement, I yanked my arm harshly out of his grip, causing him to stop and look behind my raised eyebrows. Look behind at me with raised eyebrows. Don't touch me, I snap as I hurry in front, still holding Susie's hand as we make our way to the class. Oh, look, there's another one. There's another one, probably shorter than this one. The day was nearly over. Math, English, and geography had gone and finished. The only lesson I had now was photography. Only problem was, Jacob was in my photography, and this is my chance to ask him to hang out. But now it's even harder, as Ben would be following me constantly. I waved Susie off as she trots down the hallway to her science lesson. Taking a deep breath, I latched my fingers onto the photography doors and opened them, hurrying in and quickly shutting them in Ben's face. I could hear him behind the wood, but suddenly a force tried to pull the doors open, but I held them shut. I could hear him almost growling behind the door as he tried to pull them open. But eventually he gave up and let go. Name, open the doors. I remained silent as I held the door shut, panting out of energy. Ben was stronger than he looked, so I felt worn out trying to stop him getting in. Ortigosa? Last name? Take a seat, please. My teacher instructed behind me, saying I nod and let go of the handles. Walking over to my chair at the back of the room, the door instantly swings open and Ben steps inside, giving the teacher a glance before storming over to me, continuing past me and leaning on the wall behind me. Another teacher is going to allow him to just stand there? What's with this school? As class begins to start, the doors suddenly slam open again as a figure hurries in. Sorry I'm late. It was Jacob. He apologized to the teacher and rushes to his seat. He sat opposite me, just in front, so if I turn my head to the right, I can see him. Sadly, for him to see me, he would have to turn around completely. It didn't take long for the teacher to explain what today's class was. We weren't learning content. It was practical. We had to be in pairs to come up with a project, which was just great. I had no friends in this class, so I was usually alone for all team-working practicals. I couldn't help but scoff and sigh, putting my arms across my desk and laying my head down. Resting my forehead against my arms, hiding my face, I wanted to close my eyes and just sleep through the class. But I suddenly heard footsteps approach the side of me and stop. Luckily, how my head was, if I opened my eyes and looked down, I could see the floor. I saw two shoes face my direction. I thought they were Ben's, but they weren't, and they weren't the teacher's either. Name? The voice was definitely male, however. Slowly lifting my head, I turned to look at the direction of the shadow beside me. Once I saw the face, I couldn't help being shocked. So much so, my eyes slammed open and my eyebrows raised. It was Jacob, standing there smiling down at me. Do you want to be partners? Why did he ask me? I quickly looked over to where his usual partner sits. He was there, but was working alone. Why? You want to work with me? What about? He wanted to work with me again, but he never does any of the work and usually takes all the credit. I know you usually do all the projects, so I thought it would be nice to work with someone where we would both do equal amounts of work to make an awesome project. I was confused. Was Jacob complimenting me? I was about to answer, but I hear a snarl behind me. Turning my head slightly, I gave Ben a glance. He was grinding his teeth and shaking his head slowly side to side to say no. He clearly didn't want me to work with Jacob, but I didn't care. I returned his glare with a smirk before turning back to Jacob. Sure, we can work together. I smiled, standing out of my seat, though Jacob was still taller than me. He smiles and nods his head. Great, let's go to the supply shop and grab a camera and we can start. With photography, there was a supply warehouse where you had to rent all the equipment used and return it after.